Thank you guys so much for clicking on that brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Tom Brady and his mysterious injury that nobody is really talking about or discussing. Tom Brady furthered his legend this past season when taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a brand new team amidst all the crazy offseason, COVID restrictions, not really knowing his new team, to the Super Bowl, being the first team and first quarterback to lead his team to a home Super Bowl where they played in Tampa Bay and defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. Looked unbeatable for most of the season, only losing 2 games all year. Tom Brady won his 7th ring, but not a lot of people are talking about his injury that was pretty obvious after the game. During the parade, we saw kind of the restrictions that his knee was giving him, and we're going to hop into his injury and what it means for him and his future this upcoming season. Before we hop into the content of today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. And without further ado, let's hop into Tom Brady and his mysterious injury. Tom Brady had a fantastic year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, statistically one of his best seasons of his entire career. He threw for 4,633 yards, 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and had a 65.7 completion percentage as a 43-year-old quarterback. We all know the great weapons he has in Tampa Bay with Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, and the list goes on and on. He had a great team around him, and Brady put up huge numbers and showed the world what he could still do at the age of 43. But what many people don't realize is the toughness that Tom Brady has. Tom Brady has played through multiple injuries just a couple years ago before the AFC Championship game against the Jaguars when he cut his thumb. It was actually a pretty horrific cut, and he still managed to tape it up and play in that game. But he still doesn't get the credit he deserves for being as tough as he is. We don't know exactly when Tom Brady sustained a knee injury this past season, but it seems to have the potential to be quite the storyline if we ever got the exact details of, said injury. A report came out that Tom Brady is expected to be sidelined for several months after undergoing surgery on his left knee. Many people just saw this as a cleanup. They go into his knee, there's little complications with the bone or something in his knee, nothing too serious. It will take him a couple months to recover and he'll be back and it will be completely normal. Nothing will be an issue with his long-term health, nothing to concern about, for the Bucs and Brady. But following that report, Tom Brady's left knee surgery is more than just a little cleanup. And according to Ben Volin of the Boston Globe, the surgery was more than a cleanup, and a source even told Volin that when the true nature of the injury comes out, it will build Brady's legend even greater. So what could this injury be? If Brady's going to be out 5 months, it couldn't be an ACL injury because, when you tear your ACL, you're at least out for 9 months, and not many people can go through the pain to play with a torn ACL. So I don't think it's as severe as a torn ACL, like a season-ending injury. But I could see this as, a torn MCL, a couple torn ligaments in his knee that he played through to get through the season. Brady has learned from his Patriots days to be, very quiet with what he tells the media, what he tells people. He likes to keep a lot of things under wrap and not really let out a lot of information about, his health, his game plan, or anything, that could give an opponent an unseen advantage. So many think this is similar to Brady just not really talking out about how severe something is. We saw during the Super Bowl parade that he was in a brace, and usually you're not really walking around in a brace on your knee just casually unless there's something, pretty seriously wrong with that body part. Especially being a professional athlete, you're not just going to be walking around in a brace, in something that makes you look injured or unhealthy just for the heck of it. And I think this really points out Brady has some sort of knee injury that is more than just a minor injury. This injury won't impact Brady playing next year. Bruce Arians has already said, and I think we're looking at sometime around June when Brady's going to be back. So there's nothing to be worried about if you're a Bucs fan or a Brady fan. He would definitely be back for next season. This isn't something that's going to take him out, long term or into next season. It's just a good talking point of Brady's toughness and what, he goes through on a year-to-year basis to actually, be as successful as he is. This definitely wasn't a little minor injury that many are speculating that it was. We've already seen some video of Tom Brady this offseason playing catch with, the soccer player David Beckham. And if you, watch that video, Brady is moving very gingerly on his leg, just very gingerly. They don't really show much of Brady because it's not really the point of the video. But if you can see, sometimes where he looks like he's hobbling around, where he's, kind of struggling to move, he's not really bending his knee a lot. Those are the type of things that when I saw that, I wanted to make a video about, kind of the injury that not many people are talking about. If you just have a minor issue with your knee, I don't think you're going to be still wearing a brace into the offseason and gingerly walking around, hobbling. And I really don't. Those are some of the things that Brady went through to get on his path to the Super Bowl. There was no way that Brady was going to take some weeks off and the Bucs were gonna, falter, not be able to make their push for the playoffs, or even make a deep run and win the Super Bowl. And I think Brady knew that if he had to take some weeks off, the Bucs' chances of even making the playoffs were gonna drastically go down because they were still learning how to gel together and play together. But if we ever hear the extent of this injury, I think this is only going to make Brady seem more of a legend. If he really played through a couple of torn ligaments in his knee and still managed to put up these numbers and still managed to bring a brand new team amidst this crazy offseason to a Super Bowl run, it would just make the season even more, legendary from Brady. I know Brady has a lot of critics and people that don't really like him because of, some of his scandals in New England. I think at this point it's kind of tough to deny his greatness, and with winning Super Bowls with multiple teams now and winning 7 rings, I think it's hard to deny his greatness, even being not a huge fan of Brady. I hope there's no setbacks with his rehab and Brady is ready to go for next season. His last couple years in New England, he didn't really do OTAs or those spring camps, so he might not do them again, not even because of his knee, but because he wants to spend more time with his family or just have a little bit more of a vacation. The man is going to be 44 years old pretty soon, and I think he deserves, to not go to those camps anymore, playing in the NFL, going to those for around, 20 seasons. So hopefully there's no setback in his rehab and Brady will be 100% and ready to go, with probably no brace come, August, September. The Bucs are going to be a scary team again next year. They brought a lot of their players back. They re-signed Shaq Barrett. They got Chris Godwin back on the franchise tag. They re-signed Levante David, and they brought back Gronkowski. So be on the lookout for the Bucs. They spent a lot of the last season getting ready and gelling together. This year, they're going to be already having that chemistry, and we'll see how scary they can be. The NFC South is not looking too strong this year with Drew Brees retiring and the Saints having to get rid of a lot of key players. I really do think that the Bucs can run away with that division early on. I think the Bucs may have a pretty easy path to winning that division next season, but we're going to have to wait and see how everything plays out. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think of Brady and his injury, and if you think he'll be back in time, or what do you think the injury actually is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.